There was not a shutdown, not one. The reason we're having a shutdown now is you and your leadership refuse to talk to Democrats and have any input and want only your imprimatur on the bill, which we believe hurts Americans badly.
Schumer has been adamant on this point. He keeps talking about the health care for he uses undocumented immigrants. We cannot afford to pay for health care for illegals. We just can't. I'm sorry. That's just something that I cannot abide.
Oh, wow. Chuck Schumer just got fried by Lindli. It was like watching a marshmallow burn at a campfire, and whatever dignity he had is gone. Grab your popcorn, because Lindli didn't just call him out. She smashed his whole political Wi-Fi, and this drama is crazier than Congress after lunch.
Chuck Schumer learned his lesson. He was on a book tour in March, and then he got shouted down by his liberal base. He is scared, dare I say it, shitless, that he's going to be primaried by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
If you are enjoying, make sure to subscribe to my channel. It really helps more than you think. Chuck Schumer probably thought it would be a normal, quiet political day, signing papers, holding a press conference, and looking all serious about democracy, until Lindli came crashing in like a political wrecking ball full of Twitter drama and pure energy.
I want to explain the motive behind all of this. Why is this happening now? Why is it happening when Democrats literally in March voted for the same exact piece of legislation, not once, not twice, but 13 times? They voted for this continuing resolution. Why are they shooting it down right now?
It began as a small tease, but quickly blew up into a total public meltdown, making Schumer look less like a powerful senator and more like someone who just saw all his secrets getting shared online.
I am such a fiscal conservative, like the hardcore, and I'm with you so much on the debt. Like, I want to hug you. I agree with you so much. I do want to say, though, on the Republicans wanting to shut down the government, I think a lot of them don't realize it actually costs us more to shut it down.
Yes.
Right. Pay everyone back.
Yes.
And then you pay people overtime. You know, it actually ups the bill than had we not shut down in the first place.
I can't stand this.
It's just,
Honestly, Lindli didn't just drag him. She turned the whole thing into a live show, and everyone in Washington froze because she said what no one ever dared to say, that maybe Schumer's quiet moves aren't genius plans at all, but just him snoozing through politics with a nice PR blanket over it.
Said, earlier in the segment, if we don't recognize that America is shifting rightward, we are going to keep losing. If we don't have a financial accountability and some sort of very serious accounting of how exactly we spent $1 billion in 2 to 3 months, how are donors and even everyday Americans who gave their $10 and $25 ever going to...
Schumer always acts like he's fixing everything while secretly sipping tea with his lobbyist buddies, like he could be standing on a sinking ship fixing his tie, saying all is fine as flames explode behind him. But Lindli wasn't fooled. She came armed with facts sharp enough to slice through his excuses and the kind of boldness you only get after watching politicians trip over their own words for years. She totally flipped his calm image into a viral mess, showing all the fake promises and delays he's been repeating forever. And the wild part is, she didn't need fancy press releases or big speeches. She just said what everyone already felt, that Schumer has turned leadership into a game of saying a lot without meaning anything, a political puppet show where democracy is the one getting played.
Democrats have chosen to essentially vote for a shutdown. Why? Because Republicans proposed a clean, continuing resolution which basically maintains spending. I want to be very clear what this means in the grand scheme of things. Spending skyrocketed during the pandemic years. We were spending like drunken sailors. Spending money that we definitely did not have, running up the bill.
So picture this Schumer once again pretending to fix things by throwing another meeting party, forming endless committees, and proudly saying progress is coming soon, like he's starring in a never-ending show called Procrastination Diaries, while over on the other side, Lindli is dropping screenshots and truth bombs like the host of Mythbusters Capital Edition, calling him out for his fake outrage and how he magically disappears when it's time to face real questions, and the news anchors look totally shocked like kids watching drama at the dinner table, while half his buddies wrote long speeches to defend him and the rest slowly sneaked away, acting like they were never even close to him.
We need a serious post-mortem to show that we're learning the lessons, that we are exposing everything that went wrong, and that we are going to do better in the future. We can't just throw everything under the rug and assume that daddy's going to fill the piggy bank again.
You gotta hear this, Schumer actually tried to hit back, but it flopped dropped harder than a bad joke at a funeral. His version of damage control was reading a long speech clearly written by his interns, and somehow he still sounded like he was sorry for breathing. He has this wild talent for turning every disaster into a reason to make another committee, while Lindli kept swinging, turning politics into a full-on live show. One second she's calling out his fake promises, the next she's cracking jokes like she's on stage. But behind all that fun was a real truth. People are over the same old fake performances. They want action, not photo ops, and this time it feels like they finally stopped clapping.
Kind of out-left her and, in my opinion, out-socialist her in order to show the base that he's able to also be a strong progressive. And that is why we are in this discussion. We are in this situation because he is so scared for his political life.
Schumer has turned pretending into an art. He makes every problem look like progress just by saying it's under review, like a magician doing the same trick and hoping no one notices. But Lindli isn't part of that old act. She's from the new crowd that lives online armed with proof jokes and zero patience for lies. She went right for the weak spot, calling out all the fake deals and recycled promises that somehow always end with nothing real getting done. And this time when she dragged him, it didn't just shake up the room. It made people realize maybe the real power now belongs to the ones brave enough to call out the show.
What are you doing? Talking about what happened in the campaign and absolutely putting a target on your head, let alone your back. Why would you do this?
If we don't confront reality, if we don't address these very serious issues, we're going to keep losing.
So get this, Schumer's team freaked out and tried to twist the story, sending out statements, emails, maybe even pigeons to say everyone got it wrong. But the problem was Lindli had all the dirt. Every post, every clip, every grin he flashed beside the same donors. He pretends to fight. It turned into a live reality show of what hypocrisy really looks like. And suddenly people who'd stopped caring about politics were watching again, laughing like, wait, this guy's still in charge. Schumer ended up as the face of everything fake in Washington, too smooth, too staged, and too scared of being real, while Lindli calmly roasted him, turning his every word into a punchline that made it clear he's been running in circles for years without ever getting anywhere.
Millions of Americans who are homeless, who are suffering, we should be taking care of them first.
Including veterans.
There's nothing bigoted about wanting to care for Americans first. We have so many homeless encampments around the
Is that really the sticking point?
That is one of the major sticking points, that Chuck Schumer wants to expand healthcare coverage.
So I just want to understand, because I literally don't know.
I think that's a dumb political point to make too, because it's easy to argue against.
So picture this Schumer, the king of middle ground, finally met someone who refused to play nice for years. He's been the guy who could shrink a mountain just to look balanced. But this time, Lindli showed up with a firestorm of truth while he stood there clutching his fancy statements like a safety blanket. And that's when everything flipped, because it stopped being about him and started being about what he stood for. All those polished leaders who talk about progress but never actually move forward, always celebrating tiny fake wins while real problems pile up higher than their promises. And the more he talked, the more he froze like an old computer trying to restart. And Lindli's moment turned into a movement. People called it the Great Unmasking, not to cause chaos but to ask for honesty, because she wasn't claiming to be perfect. She was just reminding everyone that maybe it's time to hire better actors for this political stage.
This is the type of thing you've said about shutdowns in the past. Let's listen.
What if I persuaded my caucus to say I'm going to shut the government down? I'm going to not pay our bills unless I get my way. It's a politics of idiocy, of confrontation, of paralysis. Shutting down government over a policy difference is self-defeating. We can never hold American workers hostage again. While the CR bill is very bad, the potential for a shutdown has consequences.
Imagine this Schumer, the guy who spent his whole career acting like applause meant approval, suddenly realizing the crowd isn't cheering anymore. They're laughing and he's just standing there waiting for someone to feed him his next line. But this time there's no script, no camera crew to fix it, just him and reality hitting hard. It's kind of poetic because the old school politicians built everything on control of stories, control of headlines, control of what people see. But now one person with a phone and a bit of wit can tear it it all down in minutes. And that's what Lindli did all his years of practice and polish. Couldn't survive one viral thread while the insiders called it overblown. Everyone else saw the truth. Late night shows cracked jokes, experts debated, and ordinary people just smiled like finally someone said it. Lindli didn't just roast Schumer, she exposed a whole style of politics that's loud but empty. And even though he kept pretending to be fine, smiling and talking like always, you could tell it got to him because every attempt to move on just looked like another bad scene in a play no one wants to watch anymore.
What were they telling your mom, and how soon was it after the election? Like
a week or two. When it wasn't at that point, I was just asking questions. Like it wasn't even. I was like, what happened to the $2.5 billion we raised? Why did we spend it on Beyonce? Why did we spend 2.5? Why did we spend millions of dollars on Oprah? Like legitimate questions that needed to be answered. But the amount of hate I got for that was just overwhelming. And the final straw, the moment that I knew that I needed to leave, was actually around Christmas Eve, when the chair of the party, he's the biggest clown that the Democratic Party has ever, like, honestly, in recent history.
Can you believe Schumer still thinks he can talk his way out of this, like repeating unity and bipartisanship will make everyone forget? But the internet never forgets, and Lindli made sure of that. She didn't just post, she stamped it forever, and now everyone can see it anytime. That's the real win, because truth doesn't need power, just Wi-Fi and guts. Schumer might keep smiling for cameras, but deep down he knows his shine is gone and people aren't clapping anymore. They're laughing because they finally see the truth. If you enjoyed this drama and want more wild political showdowns, make sure to follow and subscribe to my channel, Jacob Reports, where we spill the truth with a twist and keep the heat coming every single time.